Hello and welcome. Welcome to our show today. We're really glad that you're here. We're glad that we're here too. Our daily Reset for Success series is here to help us all reset our lives so that we can live healthier, happier, more creative, and don't forget prosperous lives. And today we have some wonderful people here. Our co-hosts are me. I'm Marian LaSalle, creator of Spotlight Productions, and Lady Lou, the baby boomer babe, and my special friend, Ross Brand, who is a live stream specialist. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, Marian and Lady Lou. It's great to be on with you.
We're glad you're here, Ross. We've had some communication problems there at the beginning, but we finally got them straight, and thank you for your patience. You're my kind of guy.
Oh, thank you so much. This is exciting. It's always fun to talk about live streaming and how different people go about doing it, so I'm looking forward to it.
Good, good. Well, Marian, let's turn it over to you because I know you know Ross, and you've got questions.
You know, it's interesting because I'm sure as Ross gets more and more exposure out there in the internet land, a lot of people feel like they know him, but he may not know them. So that's probably the case here today. He might have seen my name or heard me because I comment on his different things, but I feel like I know him. Why? Because he's out there on live streaming almost every day. He's not only teaching about it, he has his own shows, he's interviewing people. And so the exposure that he's getting is massive. And we had a conversation about this morning about live television, which it's not really live, is it? It looks like it's live when it's on your television, but they produced it long time ago. But live streaming is right now. It's happening right this second. And a lot of times because of this virus that we're going through, it's in people's homes. They're not in a studio. They're in the home, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm really happy
go ahead.
I'm really happy to have you here, Ross, today, because I think a lot of people are kind of scared of live streaming, and I want you to put them at ease, and I want you to be able to tell people what you're doing with live streaming.
Well, it really isn't that complicated in the beginning, right? You can, as you advance and you add more gear and you try and get fancy and tricky with things, it can get very complicated. But fortunately, we now have the tools, whether it's just picking up your phone and going live with your phone's native Facebook app, or it's, or Instagram app or Twitter app, or it's using something like StreamYard that we're using now. It's really a few clicks away. You have a webcam built into your computer, most likely. You can always get a very inexpensive external webcam, which greatly increases the quality. And you have some type of way of getting the audio into your computer. And while people often will start out using a built-in mic or the mic in their webcam, the biggest thing you can do for improving is just using earbuds that come with your phone. That alone will make a huge difference. If you do those two things, you now have everything technically that you need. You can always get an entry-level microphone, which is fairly inexpensive, and plug that in. That will give you even better sound if you use headphones or earbuds. But these are the basics. Once you have those down, then it's about getting comfortable doing it and the quality of your content, and that comes from practice and experience. So the first time you go live won't be probably that comfortable. You might not feel it's that good, but I always say, script your first line, script your last line, and in between talk about something that you're passionate about, and don't plan on staying too long. And then you continue to do that, and it'll get easier and better, and then you can work in more elements and eventually maybe feel comfortable talking about something related to your business or your industry and going live on a business page. But I say practice on your personal profile first. Get used to interacting with friends and family. Maybe the first time you don't even look at the chat. But it really is something that it's a skill set. Even if you don't need it right now for your business or for your social life or whatever. It's a skill set that's worth developing because this is where we're going. It's going to be more normal to do this than have a phone, a conference call or what have you in the future. So this is where business is going. It's, people are selling via live streams. They are having meetings. They are having virtual
Parties.
conferences, parties, and obviously the current situation we're in brought this all to the fore, but things were going this way anyway. So it's a worthwhile skill set to start to develop. And if your business is great and you don't need to do it on behalf of your business, even better. Prepare now, start doing it a little bit now. And then if the time comes where you are expected to go live in a business context or, speaking at a conference or whatever, you've now familiarized yourself with the technology, you familiarized yourself with the idea of delivering content this way, and it will be more like second nature to you than, oh my God, what do I got to do? I've never done this before. And,
Right. Right.
so
How many
that's
people do
how
you
I think most people can
interview?
approach it.
How many people do you interview, Ross, that they're like, they come in on their phone and it's half in and half out and they got it upright and they don't even have it sideways. It's like, oh, do I have to teach you everything? Hey, before I forget,
Yeah.
those people who are watching us live, we're on YouTube and we're on Facebook in the Natural Curiosity group. We also take this once it's over and we shoot it out to all the popular podcast platforms. So
very
if
nice.
you're listening to this, I want you to know that down in the description of all three of those locations, I have all of Ross's information for you, all the links that we're going to be talking about today. And Ross is, to me, a live streaming, not just a host, but a strategist. So he has products and services that you can engage him in that will help you go live if you don't feel like you've ever done it before and you need to. So if you go to livestreamuniverse.com, you're going to be able to find out how to get a hold of Ross when this is over.
Oh boy, I love that, Marian. Thank you for bringing that out. Because I was one of those who was not real comfortable with doing live stream on Facebook when it first came out. And I postponed it and postponed it and postponed it. And my secret was teaming up with you. Once you were there, I was comfortable. So
Collaboration.
if you know somebody who's also wanting to do live stream, team up for a little while until you both get comfortable, then do it on your own. It works.
Yeah, that's so true. And the way that I did it in the beginning, and I had experience hosting shows for years in radio, but still having a video camera, being on video was a totally new experience for me. And so every show I interviewed somebody and I had a guest. So I never had that feeling of, okay, the camera's going to be on me and what am I going to say or what am I going to talk about? Will I have enough material? I had somebody else on with me and could pepper them with questions and have a conversation. And you start to forget a little bit about the camera and while I could have been better at looking at the camera and looking into it more, it's so tempting to look at your smiling faces in the monitor. But the idea is you start to lose yourself in the conversation and you become less self-conscious of, oh my God, I've only been doing this for 3 minutes and do I have enough to say? And why is nobody here? Why are there too many people here? What, I haven't looked at the chat. There's like all these little things that can go through your head. And if you focus on talking to another person, just like we were having a phone conversation, that's going to flow naturally and it's going to get people involved. It's going to pull them in because obviously we're doing this on social platforms. So interviewing somebody, having a conversation with somebody, whether it's a co-host or a guest, is a very natural thing to do in this, and it spurs on the chat and it spurs on the conversation. So don't forget, even though this is broadcasting in a sense, it's also social media, And so it's never really a bad idea to have a co-host or a guest. Of course, you can do things on your own when you're ready, but until then, why not have another voice and somebody that you can talk to and feel comfortable with and who can bring value and take some of the pressure off of you? You ask a question, you make a comment, and you get a chance to take a breath and let somebody else talk a little bit, right?
There you go. Now, Ross is really big into the StreamYard community, and he does a lot of training, and he teaches and he uses it. One of the things that I find is the biggest challenge I have is people that are in Facebook right now don't know that they need to give permission in order for us to see them. So I'm going to give you an example. Right now, we have somebody in our audience who says, I think it's easier when you have someone on with you because you can be conversational. But we can't see who it is because Facebook has this privacy thing. You actually have to go into the description and click on the button that says, I give permission. So do that before you come in so that we can see who you are.
Unless you want to be anonymous.
Right. And I believe anybody can just go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, and that will bring up the page. You give permission, and from there, I think you're good.
Oh.
So that's another way. But it, like you said, just look at the comment in the chat and click on that link and then you give permission. And your smiling face and your name and your avatar and all that will show up. The platform that you're commenting from, it's a nice way to interact and get your name out there when you're making comments in the chat for everybody to know who you are and see what you're bringing to the table.
Oh, and I see it's Sandra Fry, and she has been on here before, so she has to give permission every time. Is that true, Ross?
I'm not that familiar with how groups work. I don't have a group myself.
Oh, it's a group thing.
I don't think that I have to do it every time, but I always do it from time to time just to make sure anyway. So to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
Okay,
so if you're listening, Sandra, all you have to do is go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. Is that true?
I'm putting it into my browser as we speak. And yes, it comes up. Let StreamYard see your Facebook Live comments. And you click, there's a blue bar that says exactly that. And you click it, it says thank you. And you go back to Facebook and it's all good.
Okay, good. So that's a good thing for us to remember. When you're going live on social media platforms, they all have their own things. Like LinkedIn, you have to apply for it.
Right.
On Facebook, all you do is connect it. Ross, I have applied for LinkedIn twice now, and I've never heard any response whatsoever. Do you have any tips on how to get through their maze?
I have no idea what they use as consideration. I have friends who are LinkedIn specialists. I have friends who are professional broadcasters who cannot seem to get through. One thing you could do is you could message StreamYard and you could message them on their Facebook page and ask them to nominate you. It by no means is a guarantee,
right?
But at least it brings your name up in front of LinkedIn again from one of their official providers.
Okay.
But
I'm going to try that.
Even that doesn't work for everybody, but for some people, in a couple weeks, they often hear back after that. So it's certainly worth a try.
Good tip.
Okay, there. Now we can see you, Sandra. She says, I've given permission in the past, but I'm not that well versed with StreamYard. I understand. I thought once you gave them permission, then it would allow you to do it every time, but apparently not.
Oh, well.
Who knew?
But now, it's a very easy to remember link, StreamYard.com/Facebook. Go in and click it. Like I just did it now as we were talking just to make sure that the link was still there and everything worked. But now I'm also good for at least for the rest of the day or whatever, right? For a few weeks, maybe. I don't know. Right. I think it should be for a longer time, but even when you're in StreamYard as a broadcaster, occasionally you have to re-give permission to Facebook or to LinkedIn or some of the other accounts. You've got to re-verify that it's your account. So
Yeah.
a lot more security than there used to be on these
Definitely.
things.
Right. So, Ross, will you go into a little more about where we should be streaming, how we should be streaming, how often? You
Right.
know, for a business owner, we need to know a little more about what we're supposed to be doing.
Well, I mean, it all varies based on your level of experience, on what kind of community you're building, what your business aims are. I would say if you're starting out, let's start with somebody who hasn't done it before. As I said, start on your Facebook personal profile where you have friends and family who'll be watching, and you can make your mistakes there and you can get comfortable and you can. I mean, because I remember like the first time I went live on Periscope, and I didn't do a lot of mobile phone stuff in the beginning, but I couldn't figure out where the button was to turn the camera around at first. And then I couldn't figure out where the button was to end the broadcast. So, make those mistakes on your personal profile where, the people are there because they love you and they're your friends and your family, and get used to delivering, a message that way, and then add a few elements, stay on longer, do 3 to 5 that way. And maybe after 3 to 5, you're like, oh, this is a piece of cake. This is me. But if not, do 7, do 10. Whenever you're ready, you feel ready, then move over to your business page. And I would say when you first go live on your business page, don't sell in the beginning. Go live, introduce yourself, talk about some issue in your industry, something happening in the world related to your industry or your business. But I would focus in the beginning on discussing a topic, a question that people maybe ask you frequently, something that they would want to know, or you don't even have to talk about your business. You can entertain people. You can do a variety of different things. I am all for over time adding call to actions, even showcasing products and services, even asking for the sale. But I think as you get comfortable, and as people are first discovering you, you want to first be leading with providing some value right off the bat. And it's fine to add a call to action, say your name and the name of your business, but don't then go, here's your offer, buy this today, right when you start out the first time. Let people get to know you and your business. Let them feel like they're building a relationship with you. And by going live on your business page, by saying your name and your business when you start and finish, when maybe 1 time or 2 times telling people to check out your website or, join your Facebook group or whatever it is that is kind of the next step for people to get involved with you. They'll know of you. They'll know what you do over time. And when they need that product or service, you'll be top of mind. So it's a long-term approach in the beginning, right? Most people don't hop on and all of a sudden they're selling more widgets than Walmart. It's a long-term approach. It's showing up. I often think that the best way in terms of how do I build an audience? How do I let people know that I'm doing this?
So,
Start a show.
yeah,
Give it a name and have a time, and drill that home.
have a time. Okay, that's something we got to
Every,
talk about.
I mean, I think like a weekly show. If you can only do it monthly, that's okay. If you can only do it every other week, that's okay. But in the beginning, if you can go live weekly for the first 2+ years, it was every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Join me for Live Stream Stars, right? I no longer do Live Stream Stars. I rarely go live on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern anymore. But for 2.5 years, as I was building this, it was, you couldn't see something that I put out without me saying, 7 p.m. Eastern Monday night, Live Stream Stars on whatever the platform was, until it just became familiar to the people who might want to tune in and even those that didn't want to tune in, and even those that never tuned in, got to know that I was doing a show. They got to see who my guests were in the promo cards that I put out, the topics I was discussing. So even the people who don't end up watching or only watch occasionally, you're also doing great branding for yourself and your business in the process. But I think that repetition is the way, and it lets people know if they're a potential guest, if they are a potential viewer, that you're serious about doing this, that you're not just showing up today and gone tomorrow, but here's where you can find me. Then you can mix in informal, spur-of-the-moment live streams if you'd like to. You can always go live on a different day and time with a guest and a formal show here and there, but have that anchor where people know that's when I come back to find you.
Oh, good stuff, Ross. This is so
thank you.
important. So many of us are clueless. I'm one of them. And that's why I joined with Marian, because she knows the technology. But thank you for all this great information. I know it's going to help a lot of people, because some of us are just so shy when it comes to technology and cameras. So, and you've been doing this for how many years?
I've been doing with video camera for 4.5 years, but before that I worked on air and radio, and then I went into doing other things. But I had a background, so I was used to being live.
Well, that paid off.
Oh, thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
Let me ask you: is this truly your website? Livestreamuniverse.com.
That is.
Okay, well, somebody said they went there and it wasn't working. So I just popped it in and it's working just fine. So I'm not really sure why they can't see it, but I just wanted to double check because she said it wasn't right. So I just double checking.
There should be a big picture of me that comes up when you go there. So.
I see it. It's a beautiful picture of you. And that reminds me, I want to talk to you about live streaming on your mobile phone. I'm finding that StreamYard doesn't have that ability yet. And I'm so eager to get out there with my cell phone and do some live streaming. What's up? What can I do?
So you can go live as a guest on StreamYard, but not.
Right.
It's not really made for hosting yet, and they're working on that because StreamYard has a lot of things you can do, and so how do you scale that down, right, so that it's capable of being done by touching a phone and touching glass, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that.
I want them to hurry up,
but they're working on it.
Okay.
But until they get there, if you want to go live, you can go live. Usually, when I go live from my phone, tends to be more in the moment. Not always. Sometimes it's a plan that's scheduled, but it's often more in the moment. And I will just go live natively on Facebook or Instagram. When you look at a post, either on your personal profile, your business page, or in a group, there'll be an option, right? Like photo, text, whatever the Facebook's list of options of things you can do, and one of them is live. And so you click that and you enter a little bit of information about what you're going to talk about. If you're going to talk about a business, or you're going to talk about a person, or you're going to have somebody else there with you in person that may come on, you can tag them in the description and go live. And on Facebook, it doesn't really matter whether you go live, landscape, or you go live vertically. It'll work either way. Obviously, if you go live landscape and you want to repurpose it to another platform, that's probably going to be more effective on another platform, but it's okay to do it either way, whichever you're more comfortable with.
I'm just going to disagree slightly.
Okay.
To me, when I see people that do live stream or any kind of videotaping, when they have it up and down, there's always this fuzzy thing on the side that just doesn't look good. I'm like, please, if you're going to do video, turn your phone sideways. That's how I feel anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been completely comfortable with holding my phone this way. It seems natural to me to hold it that way.
Right.
When you do Instagram, you pretty much have to do it if you're doing Instagram Live. And there's a question in the chat, if you don't mind me addressing from YouTube, which asks, if you're starting out, would you advise people to record a few episodes or start streaming live right away? You can always record to practice, but I think if you're going to do a live show, you want to actually be there live and give people the live experience. If you edit, they're going to see the cuts. They're going to see that it's an edited program, and you have options to upload that to YouTube or Facebook as a premiere. But I think when you do a live show, there may be a time for producing something and doing it as live if that doesn't violate the terms of service. But I think a better way is to take your phone or take StreamYard and click, record, and go ahead and record as practicing, and maybe you upload that video if it's really good. The other thing that's great practice for some people is stories, because you record, it's like live in that you're recording in the moment. You're probably not producing it and editing it very much, and you can always delete it if it's not good. But if it's good, it's essentially a 15-20 second live video, or you do a longer one and then you cut, the apps will cut them up, or you use an app that cuts them into the right size for that platform. But I think stories is a way to practice. Again, I wasn't comfortable on my phone in the beginning. I was much more comfortable like this in a, behind a desk with the camera, not holding my phone or putting my phone in a tripod. That was me, because my background was radio, so I made myself feel like I was in a radio environment, and I wasn't walking around with the camera. How do I look? Am I in frame? All this kind of stuff. So it depends. A lot of people find it's easier to go live on their phone first and then transition to desktop, because you don't need anything other than your phone. Yes, you can add a little mic that you plug in, or you can plug in your earbuds or whatever. But in essence, the phone is like a broadcast studio in and of itself. The quality of the video can be so good, and the quality of the audio that the iPhone picks up is pretty darn good, and Android too. So
it's amazing.
It's leap years ahead of when we say don't go live with your computer's built-in mic or your webcam built-in mic. The phone is a whole different ball game. The technology is better. Obviously, if you have an adapter and you plug in a professional mic, it's going to sound even better on the phone. But don't feel that it's necessary, because it's better to just be mobile and be able to go live if that's going to get in the way. And the more you have to set up, and I say this from experience, the less often you're going to go live with your phone.
One of the things I love about StreamYard is the ability to do things like this.
Oh. I love it. I
That's
love
so cool.
it.
Isn't it? I mean, I literally could do just about anything. If I had more time, I could have made it, so that it takes up the whole area. But I can literally go over, I use Snagit from TechSmith, and I can take a little Snagit picture of Ross on his website and pop it in. It's amazing what you can do. You can do videos like an intro or an outro, and you can do things like that. I'm just in love with it, and I'm getting more comfortable every day. Every time I use it, I get a little more comfortable with it. Somebody asked me that question today, is it easy? And I thought, no, if you don't know what you're doing, I mean, I don't know what your skill level is. So I can't say it's easy, because it takes a long time to get comfortable with it, with the technology. And if you're going to bring a guest in, you have to teach them. And there's a lot of moving parts. So I'm never going to say it's easy. Is it easy for me? Yeah. But I still have stumbling blocks. I teach technology and I love it. But I also I had to reach out to Ross one day because I couldn't figure something out. I tried everything and nothing was working. And so easy, probably not, but don't let that stop you,
No.
right?
Well, I think there's different levels of what you do, and it's easy to do the basics on StreamYard. And the basics are what this is all about. This is all about the conversation. And so your audio is going to be pretty good on StreamYard. The video will be there. It doesn't degrade as you bring on more people, as many other apps have in the past. And so if all you do is put up the yourself and your guest or yourself and your co-host and have a conversation, you have the names show up so it identifies who's who for people scrolling through and may not have their volume on or didn't hear the intro. You're pretty much good to go, and then everything after that is a nice to have addition, but not essential for broadcasting. It's the ability to get the guest on with a link that makes StreamYard so special, and the fact that it's stable and actually works when your guest comes on. But the fact that I can send you a link if I want you to be a guest on my show, you don't have to log into anything. You don't have to download anything. You don't have to give anybody your email and password. You simply click that link, you enter your name, select your mic and camera, and boom, here you are in the studio. You can be brought up, and we're doing a show. Now, you can ultimately make it as complicated as you want, right? So you can customize the look and feel of this using transparent overlays so that, you could have a border going around. You can upload a background. As you can tell, you don't have just the default black underneath our video windows. Right, exactly. So, and you can change that. You can use overlays to play videos or to put text. So, right. So there's all these little things that you can do to make your broadcast a little bit different from every other talking head broadcast.
There you
but
go.
ultimately, it's the conversation. And if the conversation isn't good, it doesn't matter how many bells and whistles you have. People aren't going to stick around to see it. So I would say don't let that hold you back from starting. And I'm going to be doing more tutorials on my YouTube channel's Livestream Universe. I'm going to be doing more tutorials, just like how do you add a background. I just did one on how to use video clips as overlays now that there's longer ones. And I'm going to, I did one on how to use a green screen. So I'm just going to start churning out more of those because so many people have those questions, and I want it to be easy. And in a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you get what you need to know and can get started doing it for yourself.
Now I know we're out of time and we went over, and that's okay. It's just the way it is. Thank God we're not on television.
I'm not on a schedule here, so it's fine with me.
But I want to mention something that Sandra Fry said. She said her camera is not compatible. So basically what we've run into are people who have a Mac. They typically will have problems doing something, and they're not technical enough to answer their own questions. They have to go and find a genius to help them, and we can't help them, right? But also if their computer is too old, it just doesn't work. And their internet connection. I mean, there's so many things that they have to think about before they go live, right? So test it out.
So I don't know what camera Sandra's using, but if you have a built-in camera in your computer, start with that just to make sure that your internet's working, the StreamYard's make sure everything else is working with that. She did ask for a microphone recommendation. I always recommend the Samson Q2U, which is a USB microphone, but it also comes with an XLR. So if you want to plug it in down the road into a mixer or use it as an onstage mic, but it's a very good for $50 to $100. It's a very good entry level microphone. There's the ATR 2005 or ATR 2100X or whatever. Those are good too. Those microphones, you plug them in and all of a sudden your environment's pretty quiet. They just reject noise that's not in front of it, and they sound clear and present. You just plug them in USB. I like the Samson a little better, SAMSON Q, the letter Q, U2. But the ATRs are very popular, the ATR 2100 and 2005.
That's what I have, the ATR 2100.
And they sound good. It's really remarkable how good those microphones are for the price. I mean, for the fact that there's no other technology you need, you just plug it into your USB port, and you plug whatever you're using to listen, your headphones, your earbuds, into the back of the mic, and you listen right through there to monitor, and you've got everything you need. So that answers the mic question.
Yeah.
The camera, if you need a webcam, now isn't really a great time to get one. I would not advise buying camera gear on Amazon right now, because a lot of sellers have just raised the prices by 3 and 4 times. I would look at ordering from places like B&H and Adorama, places where they're not going to be raising the price because there's a pandemic going on.
Oh, I tell you.
But then also whether stuff is even available. But the Logitech C920, again, $50 to $100 is a camera webcam that people have been using for, the past 7-8 years, I think, and it's really good quality for a webcam, and it's you don't really need much more than that.
We have one final question,
Sure.
Ross, and this is from Borgia. I have lots of followers on LinkedIn, but haven't gotten approved to live stream. Join the club. I don't know why they won't let me in. I haven't built a following on Facebook or YouTube yet. Where do you recommend that he starts his broadcast?
In that case, I probably would start on Facebook. Just start on your personal profile. I would maybe focus on starting a YouTube channel if you don't have one, and doing some uploads. I think YouTube's a tough place to get an audience for live streaming. It's extremely competitive, and it takes a while to sort of figure out the culture and the SEO of it. It's fairly complicated to get traffic and build an audience in the beginning. I would create some videos for YouTube if you'd like to have a presence on YouTube, and then at some point decide, okay, going live is a good idea. There's nothing wrong with trying it, right? I'm just saying, where is your best experience going to be? Probably going live on your personal profile, because all your people, and not all, but some people within your personal network will get notified. And then once you get comfortable with that, I would say, if you don't have a business page, create a business page or a personal brand page, but go then start to move some of your content there. You can always share it or multi-stream to both, but it's good to have content on your business page, because then people who may be looking to do business with you or looking to connect with you on a professional level may not be Facebook friends with you. So if they look up your name or your business name, then they have something that they can find that is of interest to people who are interested in whatever the product or service is, or learning about you. Whereas the people on your personal profile may show up for your live streams, but the people on your business page, even if there's 10 of them, they've opted into getting that content about your business and your industry. So think about mixing in the two in the beginning, and then if you eventually start growing an audience on your business page, you'll just want to be going live there more. But there's nothing wrong with going live on your business page and then immediately sharing it to your personal profile. Or if you're using something like StreamYard that multi-streams, you can pick both as a destination. I think sharing is probably the best way.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you that's what I do. That's what I do. I go, because I'm the same problem. LinkedIn will not approve me for some reason. So what I'm doing is, after the show is over, I'm taking the YouTube over to LinkedIn and posting it. I mean, that's the best you're going to be able to do for right now until they loosen up the reins over there at LinkedIn.
And it's a 15-minute limit, right? So you take a clip, or is it a 15-minute limit?
I didn't know that.
I didn't.
I didn't know
Maybe
that.
it's not. I don't know. Maybe they changed it.
I don't know.
I usually only upload very short clips to LinkedIn, but if you're able to upload a
I'm
full
not
show,
uploading. No, I'm not uploading.
okay.
I'm just putting the link from
Oh, you're
YouTube.
sharing it.
I'm
Which
sharing it.
actually we've been sort of told by the experts for a long time. Always upload natively. Don't share a link to YouTube because the platforms don't. We're finding now that actually sharing a link to YouTube, people can watch it right there on LinkedIn or click on through, and it doesn't seem like you're being penalized by LinkedIn for doing that. So go ahead and do that. That's far easier
That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
than uploading. but short clips and then a link to your YouTube in the comments or in the
Okay.
post isn't a bad idea on LinkedIn either, because
All right.
people are busy, and so if they see a short clip and they get enticed, then maybe they click through. I'm not saying don't do YouTube, and plus you get good quality on YouTube. Is a higher quality production in a sense based on the way that YouTube engineers things versus Facebook. So not bad to go there, but don't go there with a lot of expectations in the beginning. YouTube can be a very, very challenging place to get engagement.
Well, that's great to know, Ross. Thank you for being here. My goodness. We just don't want to turn you off. You're so good. Could we
Hey,
bring
I'm
you?
here for as long as you need, but
Oh,
thank
we
you.
love it. Could
Thank you
we?
so much.
You're welcome. Maybe we bring you back again soon.
I would love to.
Oh, we'd love
Absolutely
to
love to.
have you. Well, thank you for being here. And thank you, Marian, for suggesting him. She knows the neatest people, let's face it.
Well,
And
thank you, Marian, for showing up at my broadcasts and asking questions and messaging, and I appreciate that you've been part of the community, and I love what you're doing here with your show.
Thank you, Ross. I'm having a blast. Lady Lou and I, we're almost every day now. We're out there, just hanging out and doing. We're very relaxed. Okay,
Right.
so I think that helps right now. This is the time when people need to just not try to be so corporate about it all, and just relax and be yourself, and give the like you said, give good quality content and be yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
And don't be afraid of bloopers. We have had some of the, oh my gosh, have we had some bloopers, but we laugh and we chuckle, and we know people are out there watching us, laughing with us.
That's how you handle it.
Yeah. We love bloopers. Sometimes we
People
do them on
love that.
purpose.
Some favorite things that people like is if I'm doing something and it's generally, kind of be fairly polished. Like if I'm doing something new style and I mess up and I just laugh at myself and keep going. They
Yeah.
love that. They love seeing that human reaction.
Human.
If it's too perfect, then you might as well have a robot do it. So.
And we're not perfect, and
Right.
I love that.
You can be professional doesn't mean you have to be stuffy. It's knowing what's appropriate and what's not appropriate when you're representing your personal brand or your business. But
Yes.
that personal brand can be fun. It's human. It doesn't have to mean that you're wearing a suit and a tie and a formal dress or whatever it is. You're yourself, right? And you're connecting
Right now, my dog is
other
going
people.
crazy over here. It's like, if I was in a studio, this wouldn't be happening. It's like, shut up.
People love dogs, and
Your dog wants to go live.
Yeah, she
Come
wants to
here,
be on.
Brinkley.
Getting excited at the prospect.
You bet. Well, thank you again, Ross. This has been such
Thank
a
you so
delightful
much for
show. I
having
can't
me.
wait to watch the replay. And thank you in our audience for joining us, and for joining us on the replays later, because they will be there on Facebook under Natural Curiosity Group. You have to join. And on the YouTube channel, Marian LaSalle, Natural Curiosity. All the replays are there. And then we put them up on at least 8 different podcasts, the favorite podcast channels. So thank you again to everyone, and especially to you, Ross. Thank you for being here, and we'll bring you back.
Bye
Thank
for
you so
now.
much.
Bye. Thank you
Bye-bye.
again.